Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I am Valsa Williams and with me is Reshma Tiwari with the Midday News. The headlines. Election Commission to announce schedule for assembly polls in Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Punjab, Goa and Manipur at 3:30 p.m. today. Over 2 crore children in 15 to 18 year age group receive first dose of COVID-19 vaccine, says Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia. National vaccination drive crosses 150 crore 61 lakh mark. A total of 3,071 cases of Omicron reported in the country, 1,203 people recovered from the infection. Gujarat and Uttarakhand governments announced new COVID-19 restrictions. India and China to hold Corps commander level talks next week. Moderate to heavy snow and rainfall continues in Jammu and Kashmir and Himachal, disrupting normal life. Sidney Poitier, first black man to win Oscar for Best Actor, dies at 94. And in tennis, Naomi Osaka withdraws from WTA tournament in Melbourne due to injury. As the number of COVID-19 cases is rising fast in several parts of the country, we appeal to our listeners to be vigilant and to get fully vaccinated and help others, including children between 15 and 18 years, get vaccinated. The new Omicron variant of coronavirus is causing concern. Please continue to follow these 3 simple steps to stay safe. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. The Election Commission will announce the schedule for assembly elections in 5 states today at 3:30 p.m. in New Delhi. The states are Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Punjab, Goa and Manipur. More from our correspondent.
The term of Goa Legislative Assembly is ending on 15th March this year. Manipur Assembly 19th March, Uttarakhand and Punjab Assembly on 23rd March and Uttar Pradesh Legislative Assembly on 14th May this year. In this last few days, the Election Commission had held separate meetings with Union Home Secretary and Union Health Secretary for updates on law and order, deployment of paramilitary personnel, COVID-19 situation, as well as vaccination status in 5 poll-bound states. Inputs of the medical experts have been taken on the safety measures to be ensured during the election process. Anupam Mishra, AR News, Delhi.
Last week, the Election Commission enhanced the existing election expenditure limit for candidates in Parliamentary and Assembly constituencies. These limits will be applicable in all upcoming elections. The ceiling on parliamentary poll expenditure has been raised from 70 lakh to 95 lakh rupees in bigger states and 54 lakh to 75 lakhs in smaller states. The bigger states include Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal and Karnataka, and the smaller states include Goa, Manipur, Punjab, Uttarakhand and the Union Territories. The ceiling on poll expenditure in UT of Jammu and Kashmir has been raised to 95 lakhs. For assembly constituencies, expenditure limits have been enhanced from 28 lakh rupees to 40 lakh rupees in bigger states and from 20 lakhs to 28 lakhs in smaller states. Our Panaji correspondent reports that a team comprising of officers, police, Coast Guard and income tax departments will be formed. A report.
Goan voters are curious to know the dates of polls. Voting percentage in Goa is always higher due to the high literacy rate and concerted efforts of the Election Commission to spread awareness among the masses. Total 11,56,464 voters will vote for the assembly election. In this election, females are outnumbering the males by more than 31,000. The awareness about the importance of voting in youth electorate too is very good. Use of technology is a booster in this initiative. There are around 9,300 Divyang voters and all elaborate arrangements will be made to facilitate them to vote smoothly. To curb any untoward activity, a team comprising of officers, police, Coast Guard and income tax departments will be formed. With Mukesh Thali, Tushar Yadav, Panaji, Goa.
Manipur state is also preparing for smooth, free and fair elections for 60 assembly constituencies. More from our Imphal correspondent.
The state witnessed numbers of innovation and foundation laying of development projects this week alone by Prime Minister and Union Home Minister. The term of current 11 Manipur Legislative Assembly is due to expire on 19 March this year and elections are scheduled for 60 assembly constituencies. Meanwhile, with the announcement of schedule, the election modern code of conduct will be enforced in these states. This is JJ Thoksom from Imphal for AIR News.
In Uttarakhand, political activities gear up in view of the forthcoming elections. Major political parties are organizing public rallies in the state. Our Chandigarh correspondent gives details of election scenario in Punjab.
In this state, BJP is contesting polls in alliance with Lok Congress Party of Captain Amrinder Singh and Akali Dal Sanyukt of Sukhdev Singh Dhindsa. The Congress, Shromani Akali Dal, BSP Alliance and Aam Aadmi Party are other prominent political parties who are going to contest these polls. Some parties have already announced their candidate for all the 117 constituencies of the state and had started their election campaign. The 2,12,75,066 voters of the state will decide the fate of candidates of various political parties. The Commission has set up 24,689 polling centers to conduct the polls on all 117 constituencies of the state. Ashwini Kumar Sharma, AIR News, Chandigarh.
In Uttar Pradesh, Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath is leading the BJP-led government. The ruling BJP has got a massive strength of 303 members in the 403-member House, while its alliance partner Apna Dal Sonilal has got 9 members. Samajwadi Party has 49 members, Bahujan Samaj Party 15, Indian National Congress has got 7 and Suheldev Bharatiya Samaj Party 4, along with Rashtriya Lok Dal and Nirbal Indian Shoshit Hamara Aam Dal 1 each. At present, there are 5 independent members and 9 vacancies. Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh Yogi Adityanath today said third wave of COVID has arrived in state and all should take the vaccine. He said that this wave of corona is not critical and dangerous as compared to the second wave, but we have to be very conscious and vigilant. The Chief Minister was speaking at the closing session of the 2-day DD conclave in Lucknow. The state has 403 assembly seats, with BJP having highest 303 members, followed by 49 of Samajwadi Party and 15 members of BSP. During his interview, which is perhaps the last one before model code of conduct will be implemented in the state, Yogi Adityanath said that he has no fear of elections as he comes from those category of students who do hard work and are always ready for the exams. Yogi Adityanath said that during first wave of COVID also, his government successfully managed the issue of 40 lakh migrants. He said that still he personally reviews the COVID management in state and the government will be able to manage third wave also. Talking about the achievements of his government, Yogi Adityanath said that the unemployment rate before his government was 16%, which is now less than 4%. In the previous session of the conclave, BSP leader Satish Chandra Mishra said that the successor of Mayawati in BSP will be a Dalit. Second day of DD conclave started with panel discussion on the issue of Vikas Banam Jatiwad. BJP MP Sudhanshu Trivedi, spokesperson of SP Anurag Bhadoria, and senior journalist Yogesh Mishra are taking part in the discussion.
The Election Commission of India, ECI, has withdrawn the appointment of actor Sonu Sood as a state icon for Punjab. Punjab Chief Electoral Officer Dr. S. Karuna Raju confirmed that ECI has withdrawn the appointment of actor Sonu Sood as a state icon of Punjab on January the 4th, 2021. Union Health and Family Welfare Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandavia has said over 2 crore children between the age group of 15 to 18 have been administered the first dose of COVID-19 vaccine. He said this achievement has been made within a week of the start of the vaccination drive for children. He said vaccination of children is going on in a rapid manner across the country.
Meanwhile, more than 150 crore 61 lakh COVID vaccine doses have been administered in the country so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. The Health Ministry said more than 90 lakh 59,000 doses were administered in the last 24 hours. A total of 1 lakh 41,986 new cases were reported in the same period. India's active caseload stands at 4,72,169 and is currently at 1.34%. The recovery rate is currently at 97.3%. A total of 40,895 people recovered in the last 24 hours. A total of 3,071 cases of Omicron have been reported in the country so far. Out of the total Omicron cases, Maharashtra has reported 876 cases, followed by Delhi with 513, Karnataka with 333 cases, and Rajasthan has reported 291. The Union Health Ministry said till now 1,203 people have recovered from the infection.
The centre has reviewed the preparedness status of the entire spectrum of oxygen infrastructure, including PSA plants, oxygen concentrators and cylinders, and ventilators with states and union territories. The Union Health Secretary chaired a high-level meeting in this regard through a video conference for timely and effective management of the COVID-19 pandemic, highlighting the challenge posed by the increasing number of COVID cases across the country with the focus on Omicron. The Health Secretary emphasized that it is the primary and critical responsibility of states and union territories to ensure all oxygen equipment till the field level at all health facilities is tested and kept in a functional state to meet any emergent situation. A weekend curfew is in force in Delhi from 10 p.m. last night till 5 a.m. on Monday amid the spike in COVID-19 cases. Officials involved in essential and emergency services will be allowed on the production of valid identity cards. The Delhi Metro train services will be available at a frequency of 15 minutes on the yellow line and blue line. However, on all other lines, Metro trains will be available at a frequency of 20 minutes during the weekend curfew. Metro trains and buses will run with 100% seating capacity.
The Gujarat government has announced a series of new restrictions following a sudden spike in COVID-19 cases in the state. According to the official announcement, night curfew will be imposed in 10 cities from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. from today. Similarly, the offline classes of Standard 1st to 9th will remain closed till 31st January. More from our Ahmedabad correspondent.
Gujarat government has already postponed Ambitious Vibrant Summit 2022 along with series of other functions like Holistic Healthcare Summit and Ahmedabad Flower Show. According to new guidelines, the night curfew will be effective from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. in top 10 cities. These cities are Ahmedabad, Vadodara, Surat, Rajkot, Bhavnagar, Jamnagar, Junagadh, Gandhinagar, Anand and Nadiad. Political, social, educational, cultural and religious gatherings will be permitted for maximum 400 persons in open and at a 50% capacity in closed doors. Public and private transport will be exempted from night curfew with 75% capacity. Yogesh Pandya, AIR News, Ahmedabad.
In Uttarakhand, political rallies and protests have been restricted in the poll-bound state in the wake of a surge in the COVID-19 case. According to health reports, 814 fresh cases have been recorded in the state yesterday. Meanwhile, Chief Minister held a virtual rally to tell works done by BJP government during 5 years' rule in the state in the last evening. Chief Secretary S.S. Sandhu issued fresh guidelines in the wake of a surge in the corona pandemic. The curbs will remain in effect till 16th January. All the Anganwadi centres and schools up to class 12 would remain closed in the state till the 16th of this month. Only online classes will be held. All swimming pools and water parks would remain closed during the period. Similarly, public events like educational, cultural and entertainment programs have been banned. Cinema halls, shopping malls, spa, salons, gyms, entertainment park and auditorium would operate at 50% capacity. For the marriage ceremonies and funerals, permission would be given in accordance with the 50% capacity of the venue. Hotels, restaurants and dhabas have been given permission to operate at 50% capacity. Night curfew would continue from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. People of other states coming to Uttarakhand without being administered both doses of vaccine would be required to produce RT-PCR negative report, which should be less than 72 hours of the time of arrival.
Maharashtra reported 40,925 fresh COVID-19 cases. The highest number of 20,971 cases were reported from the capital city, Mumbai. According to the State Health Department, 20 patients succumbed to the infection in a day across the state. While 14,256 patients were discharged in a day, the active cases in the state rose to 1,41,492. No Omicron case was detected in a day. State Health Minister Rajesh Tope has said even stricter restrictions will have to be imposed in the state if the COVID-related restrictions are not complied with. Talking to reporters in Jalna, he clarified that there is no immediate proposal to impose restrictions on movies, theatres, temples, etc. However, steps need to be taken to prevent congestion at these places. Meanwhile, Municipal Commissioner of Greater Mumbai has clarified that there is no need for lockdown in Mumbai at present. Although a large number of patients are currently being treated, the number of patients who need to be hospitalized and need oxygen is low. He said that lockdown will be considered if this number increases. Union Minister of State for Railways Rao Sahib Danve has tested positive for COVID-19. He is in Jalna and has isolated himself. He has appealed to people who had come in his contact to get the COVID test done.
Bihar Assembly Secretariat has been closed from today till 16th of this month in the wake of its staff getting infected with COVID. The Speaker, Vijay Kumar Sinha, said this decision was taken after nearly 30 staff members tested positive in the testing in the last 3 days. Mr. Sinha said meetings of all committees of the Assembly has been suspended. The state government has cancelled meeting of newly elected Gram Sabha in all panchayats in view of increasing COVID cases in the state. 3 ministers of Nitish cabinet, Shahnawaz Hussain, Mukesh Sahni and Rampreet Paswan were tested positive. In Punjab, 2,901 new COVID-positive cases and 1 COVID-related death was reported yesterday. The maximum 831 cases were reported from Patiala district, followed by 324 cases from Ludhiana. Punjab Health Department says 135 COVID patients were discharged after recovery yesterday. The vaccination has been intensified in the state. Yesterday, 186,676 persons were vaccinated, which include 8,310 people in the age group of 15 to 18 years. The Health Department says 76,379 vaccinated with first dose and 110,297 with second dose on the day.
In our bilingual live phone-in program Corona Jagrukta series tonight, Dr. Tanuja Nesri of All India Institute of Ayurveda, New Delhi, will be with us to answer the queries related to coronavirus. This program can be heard on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. onwards. Listeners can ask questions to the expert on telephone numbers 011-2342-1230 and 011-2342-1764. You can also post your queries on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts by hashtag AskAIR. This program will also be available on our website newsonair.gov.in and YouTube channel News on AIR Official.
You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Election Commission to announce schedule for assembly polls in Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Punjab, Goa and Manipur at 3:30 p.m. today. Over 2 crore children in 15 to 18 years age group receive first dose of COVID-19 vaccine, says Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia. National vaccination drive crosses 150 crore 61 lakh mark. A total of 3,071 cases of Omicron reported in the country. 1,203 people recovered from the infection. Gujarat and Uttarakhand governments announce new COVID-19 restrictions. India and China to hold Corps Commander level talks next week. Moderate to heavy snow and rainfall continues in Jammu Kashmir and Himachal, disrupting normal life. Sidney Poitier, first black man to win Oscar for Best Actor, dies at 94. And in tennis, Naomi Osaka withdraws from WTA tournament in Melbourne due to injury. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे,
आजादी के आंदोलन के खजाने में ऐसे ढेरों शब्द जिन्होंने बदल दिए इतिहास, तारीख बदलने वाले लफ्जों पर आकाशवाणी समाचार ला रहा है विशेष कार्यक्रम धरोहर हर सोमवार।
Welcome back to the Midday News. India and China will hold core commander-level talks next week after a gap of 3 months. The 14th round of the talks to resolve the 21-month-long standoff in eastern Ladakh will take place on January the 12th. Our correspondent, quoting official sources, reports Lieutenant General Anindya Sengupta will lead the Indian delegation at the talks. Sengupta, who took over as commander of the Leh-based 14 Corps on Tuesday from Lieutenant General P.G.K. Menon, was also part of the previous round of talks, during which the Indian delegation was led by Lieutenant General Menon. The latest round of talks comes on the heels of a series of incidents that include China's move to announce its own names for more than 15 places in Arunachal Pradesh. In Madhya Pradesh, Union Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur appealed to the newly inducted officers of BSF to perform their duties with truth, dignity and honesty by staying within the ambit of the law. The INV Minister was addressing the newly inducted officers after the convocation parade of Assistant Commandant at Border Security Force Academy, Tekanpur, Gwalior today. Mr. Thakur said the national interest should be the priority of officers.
आपने आज अपने आप को राष्ट्र को समर्पित कर दिया है। आज के बाद राष्ट्र हित ही आपकी प्राथमिकता होनी चाहिए। सीमा सुरक्षा बल की तैनाती के दौरान कई बार आपको जोखिम भरे सख्त निर्णय लेने होंगे। ऐसे हालत में भी आपको कानून के दायरे में रहते हुए सच्चाई, गरिमा, ईमानदारी एवं निष्पक्षता के साथ कार्य करना होगा। आपकी अव्वल दर्जे की कर्तव्य परायणता एवं सत्यनिष्ठा ही आपकी इस वर्दी का आईना होगी।
Appreciating the contribution of BSF in sports, Mr. Thakur said that this force has made remarkable contributions to the country in various sports. 78 newly consecrated officers, including 3 women officers, took the oath of allegiance to the nation during the passing out parade. Mr. Thakur also paid tributes at the Martyrs Memorial Ajay Prahari of BSF. BSF Director General Pankaj Kumar Singh also addressed the convocation.
Nepal Embassy in New Delhi has congratulated All India Radio for doubling the broadcasting time in Nepali. In an exclusive interview to All India Radio News, Nepal's Charge d'Affaires in India, Ram Prasad Subedi, lauded AIR for launching a special program on Nepal and extended its best wishes.
I'm very happy to learn that Nepali service got 3 hours of time from 1.5 hours. So double the length of the broadcasting time. Congratulations for that. You have been contributing by this means of communication for such a long time. I feel that, okay, this is good that the radio deserves the recognition as a messenger of people.
Talking about the India-Nepal relations, Mr. Subedi said that both the nations have withstood the test of time and will gather more strength in years to come.
There is a historical connect between our people. Partnership, this kind of friendship, this kind of connection between the people, makes our relations very unique and very strong and very popularly based. In Nepal-India relations, people are the makers, people are the real custodians. So that's why this relation is permanent, broad-based, very strong.
The full interview will be broadcast in our Spotlight program at 9:15 tonight. As our nation celebrates the 75th year of independence, a series of events are being organized by the government as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. To commemorate the occasion as a Janutsav, All India Radio News brings its listeners a special quiz on India's freedom movement and its glorious history. The quiz is being conducted every Monday and Tuesday in the morning news. The next question of Amrit Mahotsav quiz will be shared with listeners on Monday, 10th January 2022. Celebrate 75 years of India's independence by participating in Amrit Mahotsav quiz with AIR News. Best wishes to all consumers for Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Hallmark ensures purity of gold. always purchase hallmarked gold jewelry. For any consumer-related complaints, please contact National Consumer Helpline's toll-free number 14404. Issued in public interest by Department of Consumer Affairs, Government of India. Jago Grahak Jago.
In Jammu and Kashmir, moderate to heavy snow and rainfall continue today, resulting in disruption in both aerial and surface transport. While most of the valley and hilly areas of Jammu Division received snow, the plains of Jammu Division received rains since last evening. The Meteorological Centre in Srinagar has issued a red warning and asked the residents to avoid visiting hilly areas. It said the weather is likely to improve from tomorrow. Meanwhile, the aerial traffic at Srinagar International Airport remained suspended as no flight could take off or land since morning due to poor visibility caused by bad weather. Traffic on Srinagar, Jammu and Srinagar Leh national highways also remained suspended. The Northern Railway Authority suspended the Baramulla-Banihal rail service for today. In Himachal Pradesh, intense cold is prevailing in most parts of the state owing to snowfall and rain in higher reaches of the state today. Majority of the places in the state are reeling under severe cold. The upper reaches of the state have been experiencing intermittent snowfall while it is raining in the plains, including the capital Shimla. The State Weather Department has issued yellow warning of snowfall in high and mid-hills and moderate rain in the plains during the next 24 hours.
In tennis, Naomi Osaka has withdrawn from her semi-final match of a WTA tournament in Melbourne due to an abdominal injury. Her opponent, Veronika Kudermetova, will now advance to the final on a walkover. The defending Australian Open champion, Osaka, informed about her withdrawal through a statement. She said she had a lot of fun playing in Melbourne, but unfortunately, due to an abdominal injury, she needed rest and prepare for the Australian Open. The Australian Open begins on January 17th. Kudermetova will tomorrow face second-seeded Simona Halep, who beat Zheng Qinwen 6-3, 6-2 in the other semi-final in the Somerset 1 event. With just 10 days to go, Australian Open tennis tournament is struggling to live up to its happy slam reputation. Rapidly spreading Omicron variant, absence of big stars, and Djokovic saga have thrown Australian Open in complete disarray.
Legendary Hollywood actor Sidney Poitier, who broke through racial barriers as the first black winner of the Best Actor Oscar for his role in Lilies of the Field in 1963, passed away yesterday. The actor, who inspired a generation during the civil rights movement, has died at the age of 94, an official from the Bahamian Ministry of Foreign Affairs said on Friday. Former U.S. President Barack Obama said Poitier epitomized dignity and race and had singular talent. His other notable movies were To Serve with Love, In the Heat of the Night, and Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. Born in Miami on February 20, 1927, Poitier was raised on a tomato farm in the Bahamas and had just 1 year of formal schooling. He struggled against poverty, illiteracy and prejudice to become one of the first black actors to be known and accepted in major roles by mainstream audiences. In 2009, Poitier was awarded the highest U.S. civilian honor, the Presidential Medal of Freedom, by President Barack Obama. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Election Commission to announce schedule for assembly polls in Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Punjab, Goa and Manipur at 3:30 p.m. today. Over 2 crore children in 15 to 18-year age group receive first dose of COVID-19 vaccine, says Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia. National vaccination drive crosses 150 crore 61 lakh mark. A total of 3,071 cases of Omicron reported in the country. 1,203 people recovered from the infection. Gujarat and Uttarakhand governments announced new COVID-19 restrictions. India and China to hold Corps Commander level talks next week. Moderate to heavy snow and rainfall continues in Jammu and Kashmir and Himachal, disrupting normal life. Sidney Poitier, first black man to win Oscar for Best Actor, dies at 94. And in tennis, Naomi Osaka withdraws from WTA tournament in Melbourne due to injury. And with that, we end the midday news.